All right, James Dobney is with us, registered home inspector. How are you? Nice to see you.
Yeah, good to be here.
We got lots of interest, obviously, when you were on the show, so let's get right to it. Suzanne from Lake Country is on with us this morning. Hi, Suzanne. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Hi, Suzanne.
What do you got going?
Well, I got a 30-year-old home that initially had a open wood-burning fireplace that we framed in and stuffed in one of those electric fireplaces, but now it doesn't work. So I'd like to take it all apart. And I'm wondering, how do I close off that chimney so I don't suck all my heat out in the wintertime?
So you're not going to use the electric fireplace and you're not going to use your chimney for wood burning anymore?
That's right, yeah.
And it obviously goes up through the roof. Are you concerned about the roof end of it or the part inside the house?
No, the part inside the house, I just don't want heat going up the open chimney.
Right. Well, you could block off where the damper is. If you look up underneath, you'll see a metal damper. You can actually frame something and just fill that in with styrofoam or insulation, and then just drywall over top of it, frame it and drywall over top of it.
It's as simple as that.
It's pretty simple. And think about when you redo your roof, if you're not going to use that chimney at some point, you could actually knock the chimney down to the roof line and just go right over top of it.
Well, it can't really because I have another chimney that exhausts the gas.
All right, then yeah, just seal it off and drywall over it, and you should be fine.
Okay, thank you very much.
And you might want to block it off at the top, too.
Okay.
As well, so you don't get birds coming down as well.
Yeah, and make sure you let people know that.
Yes.
So the next you sell your house, the next person who wants to light a fire, not a good idea.
You'll find out pretty quickly.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, we have a email question for you, and this question is: we need to replace our 18-year-old cedar shake roof. What products do you recommend other than asphalt shingles? This is from Laura.
Yeah, different options. People don't tend these days to be replacing wood roofs with wood roofs again. Of course, that's always an option. You go with a treated shake or shingle.
Right.
If you don't want to use asphalt shingles, you have to have a steep roof application, which means something like a metal roof. There are various products that are manufactured as well to look like shakes. All of those are options. Asphalt shingles aesthetically have gotten a lot better as well, so I wouldn't rule that out completely. But the main thing is that it's a steep roof application, and it can't be something really heavy like a concrete tile.
Right.
Otherwise, the framing wouldn't be adequate for it. So,
yeah. You and I addressed a situation, and I thought it was a good idea to address it this morning because this is the time of year, I think, when this kind of stuff happens. But we have a bird's nest in our house, and it's actually, the birds are now gone, and what's left over is the remnants of this little nest. And so what's the best way to get rid of that, to clean it out? Do you have to take everything apart to clean it out?
Well, you have to they're up under the soffit, I presume.
They are, yes.
Yeah, so the only way to get rid of the nest is to actually get up there, move the soffit material, and pull the nest out.
Oh.
And you can do that typically. Is it vinyl or aluminum? Do you know?
I don't know.
One or the other.
Yeah, one or the other.
It's a little bit tricky. You want to make sure you don't damage it, especially if it's aluminum. But the only way is to get it off. You get it off, get up there, and pull it out.
Okay. All right. We have Daniel. Sorry, where's Daniel calling from? From Abbotsford. Okay. Hi, Daniel. How are you?
Hello.
Hi, Daniel.
What's your question?
I have a leaking water main shut off in my place, and I have an unheated crawl space. Now, I've discovered both valves leak, and the valves are no longer manufactured. Now, what I'm wondering is it possible to replace the line in the crawl space with PEX as opposed to the existing copper and use heat tape on it?
Sure. Yeah, you could do it. I would think about the option of actually heating your crawl space. I don't know if you have that option or not. But if you can, that's typically better because otherwise you have to worry about insulating all your water lines.
How do you heat your crawl space?
You can run forced air. If you have a forced air heating system, you can actually run a duct into there. In the wintertime, you can close off the vents as well.
Okay.
So typically, heating the crawl space is a better option.
Probably cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay, our email question we have for you is, we have lost water pressure with our kitchen and main bath shower faucet. In fact, water from our main bath shower faucet just trickles out. All the other faucets are okay. What could be causing this? And this is from Vanessa.
A little bit tougher one if you've got two fixtures doing it and not the others. My guess is that something has come loose in the lines and you've got debris in the filters. So if you look on most faucets, at the end of the faucet there's a piece that you can unscrew and there's a screen inside there.
Okay.
So you want to check that, make sure that there's no debris buildup. In the case of a bathtub and the shower head, what I would do is I would take the shower head off and then run the water and see if you're getting water coming out. If you are, then the problem is the shower head itself.
Okay.
If not, then it's something inside the valve. The filters on those are not so obvious. They're a little bit trickier to find, but that's probably what it is.
Okay.
If there's been work done on the system or there's been a water hammer, debris inside the water heater can get up and get in those filters. So
Time for a new shower head.
time for a new shower head.
All right, we have Linda from Surrey. Good morning, Linda. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. The sun is shining.
That's always a good thing. What's your question?
I bought an older apartment, approximately 28 years old, and I find that the wiring is not what I would like.
Okay. You mean you need more outlets?
I would like to put more outlets,
Okay.
yes.
Are you finding that breakers are tripping?
No, they're not tripping. It's just that I would like to put some outlets in the hallway and, you know, have more efficient spacing of the outlets. So how do I go about increasing the wiring in the apartment?
Well, obvious thing is an electrician, but in electricians, if you're not adding outlets that are going to take a large load, like kitchen appliances, etc., what they can do is they can tie into an existing outlet and just extend that, put in another outlet. In a place that's finished, like an apartment, you're going to be looking at removing drywall and cutting some holes in the wall. The good thing is it's relatively easy to patch.
Can you do something with a place that's 28 years old? Would you have to add something to, because you're adding more outlets? Does that have anything to do with actually the actual wiring
If
system?
they're just convenience outlets, then no. If you're adding major things that are going to draw something major, like an air conditioner or a major appliance, then
Right.
yes, you'd want to add to the capacity. But if it's just a case of you want more outlets because it's inconvenient where the others are,
Sure.
then you can add to those. And the electrician can add up the number of outlets that are on a particular circuit, and there's a number that they can't go over, but they'll know that.
All right. All right. If you have any more questions for James, of course, you can always reach him through his website, jamesdobney.com, or the phone number 604-942-8272, and you can get in touch with him. If you have a question for one of our Ask an Expert guests, you can email it to weekendnews@globaltv.com. Make sure you put the guest name in the subject box. Next week, veterinarian Dr. Andy Forsyth will join us in studio to take your pet questions. So thanks very much for that. And thank you. Good to see you. I know we're gonna talk a little in the next hour about something bad that happened at your house. So
We are.
Yeah, so we'll get to that.